Anyway, we got Freeman with us tonight, guys. Freeman Fly, man, from Freeman TV, the Freeman Perspective, man. Thanks so much for coming on the show, hanging out with us tonight, man. It means a lot.
Hey, no problem, man. I was looking forward to meeting y'all.
Yeah. We've been hearing a lot about you from Alonzo. Alonzo likes to name drop.
No, I don't name drop, man.
He does name drop.
We talk all the time. So
I know.
He's just talking about his day.
Yeah. I know that you talk all the time.
Me and him talk about life. That's about it. We don't really talk about when we do speak. So it's like,
Yeah.
He's an awesome guy, good friend,
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, Freeman, you're a legend, man. Like I said, man, I've been watching your stuff for years, and I would say that you were probably at the forefront of a lot of these theories before they actually became popular and they went viral. And the irony is, it was you hardly ever got a majority of the credit that you should have for a lot of the stuff that you managed to research and bring to the forefront. When you found out about the 9/11, man, the 9/11 coincidences and how these buildings were built on 9/11. And how that connected to a lot of the military, which was the Shekinah and the Shekinah, man. I just remember hearing all these theories you were throwing out there, and it was blowing my mind, man.
I don't like to bitch, but I'm actually hurt that I'm seeing all these reports of Hillary's a clone and Taylor Swift's a clone of Zena LaVey. And I'm seeing this stuff come through my wire. It's coming down my Twitter feed. It's coming in my Facebook, and it's just coming all over me. And I'm like, damn you. I've never seen even one single debunking of Obama being a clone of Akhenaten. I have not seen a Snopes. There's not a care in the world that I have proven this.
Or maybe it's just such a solid researched argument you're making that they just...
No, I am the Rodney Dangerfield conspiracy. But I don't complain.
That's how it works, man. It's the name of the game.
I tell you, no, but seriously, when I saw that Taylor Swift LaVey thing, I'm just like, curses. Yeah. I can't believe nobody picks up on my stuff. I've got children. There are kids in elementary school who are taking my Obama clone theory and taking it into the classroom and getting an A. I mean, they are proving their theory in front of an entire astonished elementary school class and teacher, and they're writing me letters saying, wow, I got an A on my report on cloning. Thank you so much. A child can show and prove exactly what I'm saying.
I'm more perplexed by the fact that a child has access to such esoteric and occult subject matter. It's perplexing me just how much...
It's not a cult, I mean, we got glow-in-the-dark cats. Sorry. I mean, this stuff
I'm
isn't
not throwing it into a negative connotation. I'm just saying it just amazes me that so many people can access so much information nowadays through the internet, thanks to the internet. And,
without a doubt. It's
we're learning
exponential. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you used to have to open these things.
Read and actually read.
And luckily, some of the academics...
name a topic.
I got one. What's your oldest Manly P. Hall book?
Oldest man. Oh, well, my favorite one is The Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
And this one, which also holds my Musketeer certificate, that was handed to my mother from Walt Disney himself.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I remember seeing that when you were recording Sean Young and Alonzo, you were on that video too.
Right.
Yeah. You were
right. I had all kinds of secrets in this one. This is an original Paul Lafley. Whoops. Not anymore. Poor Paul Lafley. He was the Twin Tower architect that the Bin Ladens asked him where to put the demolition charges. Wow. This is his drawing as he's describing to me.
Oh, that's the one at the picture, right, that you have where you're sitting at the table with him? Oh, yeah.
And he is describing to me what the Raelians are up to. And the helmet-headed lady that was fighting him with Rael, he signed it as a work of art.
Wow.
But so that's Paul Lafley's take on the Raelians. I have one more of his time machine, and he is this one. Okay, this is Paul Lafley. original artworks. He's dead now, you know. This one is, I think that's a space elevator, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
These are the paintings he did of Elvis's life story, of how Elvis's identical twin brother either didn't die in the womb or did, but he had to do paintings of it all. It was really bizarre. But actually, I have them on film explaining all of this.
Where do you keep your childhood drawing? That's that very iconic picture you
that one's in my closet. I can't believe, honestly, like, it's really bizarre that out of all the things I've lost in my life, that I still have that thing. I mean, this house that I'm in right now is the first house that I've ever lived in that I have all my things in one place.
Yeah.
I've had all my things hidden for a decade in grandmother's basements and different houses. And finally, when I moved here, it all came together. It was this.
Bringing in all this rich knowledge into your home and all these
really
books.
Did the thing.
You ever see any of these entities in your home, or you ever feel any energies or spirits there?
I never really have. I did once when I was doing Anna Nicole, Brittany, and Mind Control. My roommate moved out. My roommate took one look at me and saw me ashen with dilated pupils because I had just said the scariest stuff I had ever said in my life live on the air. I think I even had Henrik pull the second hour of the show so that no one could hear it.
Wow.
Because I freaked myself out with what I had just exposed, and I had never had that. But then it felt like I had been under some psychic attack, and every night at 3 a.m, I would get these horrible panic attacks. I mean, severe.
Yeah.
And my roommate saw this, and he bugged, and he moved. And, I mean, it was that bad. I left everything behind, jumped in my vehicle, and tried to drive home to my mom without even enough money for the gas to get there.
Yeah.
And I got there. I never remember how I managed these things. People used to ask me that all the time after I'd come off a long journey. And they're like, you know, I'm like, oh, well, I've been to the top of the mountains. I've been down to the beach, been over here, been over there, up here. I stayed there. I went and did this rich thing. I was at this millionaire. You know, I met this band. And I come back home and they're all like, well, how did you do that?
Synchronicity.
I honestly never thought about it until you asked. So let me see. And then, the Celestine Prophecies came out and explained it to me.
The friendship agenda, man. Everybody just puts in and shares in their material possessions and their love. And before you know it, just things come about. Man, you've been all over the place. I remember you were driving around in a bus for a while, streaming your live podcast, man. I remember watching that for a while. That was amazing.
That's because podcasts don't pay. So you guys aren't willing. You know, we were homeless. We were living in the street in our bus, you know, still doing the show, still broadcasting. I made that bus full Wi-Fi. And
whatever happened to that bus? I'm curious.
Well, like Woody Harrelson, you know.
Whatever happened to the bus?
I sold it.
You sold it? Okay.
Get the bus, dude. Don't ever buy a bus, all right?
Oh, really?
Get a hybrid.
That's a lot to luggage around.
Oh, my God. I got 2 miles to the dollar. And you have no idea how tiring it is to drive a 20-ton vehicle with a poodle in your lap. She would ride in my lap the entire time. There was an entire bus behind me with a bed and couch and Monty and Jamie and everybody. And yet she was right there in my lap the whole time while I drove.
Yeah, there's a video of you driving, like you're singing too. I'm like,
I think it was the Free Zone.
I've seen those.
Yeah.
It seemed cozy though, man. It seemed like it was
It was just every time you park somewhere within 3 days or less, and I have a whole stack of them, you got your code compliance ticket. You cannot park a bus in a neighborhood. And so everywhere we went, we were run off.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare, basically.
Miss Emily.
Park that thing downtown. I got pretty good at it, man. I seriously could drive that school bus like it was a Toyota.
I got my
Turn it on
CDL,
a dime.
man.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I got my CDL.
The entire year from October to October, from 20 through 2012.
Whatever happened with you in Coast to Coast, man? Did they ever reach out to you? Did you ever go through with that? Because I remember hearing you were a lot of your fans were reaching out and saying, "Why isn't he on the show, man? Why won't they cover someone like you?"
They even said they would quit their subscriptions, and there was a whole campaign. Get Freeman on Coast to Coast. Wow. I personally met George Noorey twice. Let me prove it.
Yeah, I've met him. I've met him a couple times too at your free.
Let me just prove it. All right, I'm not joking around. What's that say? And powerful name, right? Great powerful name, and George Noorey.
George Noorey.
Right? Okay, so that's his book. Just want to say, I met the man.
Yeah. No, you have that picture too with him.
And I gave them Anna Nicole, Brittany, and Mind Control. That's what I was doing at that time. It wasn't even Obama cloning yet. It was the most heinous story I'd ever told in my entire life. It blew the lid off of trauma-based mind control. I gave you clear and classic examples, and there was weird occulted stuff with Brittany and and Anna Nicole, and it freaked me out big time, to tell this to the world. And it was Fritz Springmeyer's. These things, oh my God! I can just keep going on and on with it.
Yeah, Fritz Springmeyer talked a lot about the Monarch programming. I remember he expanded a lot on that.
Well, yeah, this whole book is just a list of triggers and codes, right?
Yeah.
So that's how to create your own undetectable Illuminati mind control slave.
Mind control slave, yeah.
Yeah, classic, right?
Interesting.
You just go through this, like Britney Spears was in a video, and she's handed seashells. And all of a sudden she stops talking, and she's led away by Guillermo, who's this demon. And so, you just flip open, okay, Fritz, what the heck seashells got to say about this? And it's in there. And it says seashells are a sign that they're always listening. And it turned out Brittany was in a news, in a conference, and suddenly shut up when she got the shells. And it explains it exactly in that book. So you start to see these things they're happening right in front of you. And for some reason, the universe stuck me on the couch for the entire Anna Nicole court case. And I have no idea why, but I watched it all. I watched every moment. I knew every secret and everything that had gone on with it. And so anyway, I tried to expose that through Coast to Coast, and they all shook my hand. Yeah. Took my DVDs. Yeah. Then nothing. I would call.
I appreciate, though, that Clyde Lewis did manage. You reached out to him and you were working with him for a while. Ground Zero, man. I really enjoy that show. I still listen to it when you were on there with one of the leaders of the
Rex Church.
Yeah, Rex Church, man. I remember listening to that one. But Clyde Lewis, opened up with his medium, and you got a lot of your information out there, luckily, whereas where George Noorey wouldn't, broach that, even dare to broach it.
Well, see, I'm also on Jimmy Church, and me and Jimmy are close, and he's now the weekend host of Coast to Coast.
It should be open door, man.
So, I tried to bug him a little bit, saying, why am I banned from Coast to Coast? And all he could really do was guess, and he didn't know either. So
I've heard several stories about people being.
George Noorey's a jealous.
I've heard stories about that.
I think that they're not allowed to say certain things, and
Santos can't go on there.
Yeah.
Santos
I've never heard of Santos Bonacci.
He's tried to get on there. They won't have him.
Yeah.
Santos, I've talked to.
It blew my mind because, I'm the product of Coast to Coast. Yeah. Where do you think I learned about harp?
Exactly.
You are the iconic centerpiece of what everything is that Coast to Coast is not at the moment.
Yeah.
And to be honest, they won't touch certain things that are too politically heated or too far out there.
I tell you what, like, I love Coast to Coast, and I've there was points where I was just like 4 hours a day. 4 hours a day, because I drive for a living. I listen to them every day. Download the podcast. But now, to speak the truth, it's like these people are making it up as they go. You know that, right? These people are making this stuff up as they go. A lot of people talking about they have contact with the angels and aliens.
Oh, you're talking about like guests that come on and just use nonsense.
The different guests are making it up as they go. There's people in the church arena who, or like in the prophetic, who like are sensitive to the spirit. They make it up as they go. It's like, man, like, why do you need to do that when there's people out there who are really tapped in and who really know what they're talking about, who can show you the research, show you the information on it, and you got these people on there. They're not believable. You ask them a question, they make it up as they go. It makes no sense. Okay, on to the next call. I said, hold on. Somebody's got to call bullshit. Somebody's got to call bullshit. You guys are making it up, and you guys are promoting this because they have a book and they have this machine behind them. So I kind of lose all respect for it, even though I want to listen to them and I want to hear like who's the latest people out there in ufology and research. And I'm listening. I'm like, man, it's fun. It sounds good, but I don't believe it, man. You're not believable, you know. Yeah. So
I mean, I wonder who Coast to Coast is bought out by or who controls.
Yeah, there's definitely an overlord. I know that.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you went to the Free Your Mind conference, I noticed. And what was your experience there, man?
Well, you know, I was just thinking about how Andrew Bashago watched my lecture on Obama being a clone at Free Your Mind and then was like, dude, I went to Mars with Obama. Yes. And then I saw him on Stephen Colbert talking about that. And I'm the reason I triggered his memory of going to Mars with Obama with my lecture. And he told me this.
Wow.
So, you know, you just never know. But yeah, Free Your Mind is an epic adventure. It's way more of an experience than it is a conference. And I guess a lot of conferences get that way eventually, but this one just was hip right from the get-go. You would have thought you were at a festival this last one. There were hippies in blankets surrounding the whole you were wafting through marijuana smoke, walking in and out. And, I mean, people were, you know.
Well, you had movie stars there, too.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, exactly.
Have you seen Jesse Ventura's latest campaign, Marijuana Can Save the World?
I haven't.
Yeah, go check out his Twitter.
Jesse Ventura.
Yeah, Mark Passio has done a good job with structuring the Free Your Mind conference.
Yeah, it's Bob Tuskin.
Yeah, he's a wealth of knowledge, man. I'm amazed by what Mark Passio has come out with.
He's like Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah, man. I can't keep up with the things he keeps putting out there, and they're so well researched.
What is it? Get as offended as you want. There's the door.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. I mean, seriously, Free Your Mind a lot of times feels like you've stepped into the halls of 1776 and you're watching these, you know, national leaders speak. Because, it feels like that with Passio and even Max Egan and the passion and the drive of people that really want to do stuff, you know, like get off your arse. Most of them live in a shed, but, you know, that's...
That's the best way to live, man.
You know, Jordan Maxwell lived in a shed. Max Egan lived in a shed. Alex Ansary lived in a shed. I lived in a bus. You know, that's the world of the truther.
The truther, exactly. The people that care the most usually have little of material substance, but they have a wealth of heart and knowledge and just good friendship and love to offer. And that's how you usually know you're doing something right. You know, it's not something that you're going to be in it for the material, for the wealth. You're in it to just bring love and understanding and bring people out of the cave of ignorance, right?
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. So what's an overarching theme that you've been coming to lately?
Well,
everything that you're researching, you know, what's in the pipeline? What have you been up to, man?
What's kind of a trip about it all is that it all began way back with Bill Clinton. And so I noticed that moment with Bill Clinton. I don't know what year that was. When was Bill Clinton in office?
93, 94.
93. When he was brought into the court and, you know, made to admit that he had inserted a cigar in his secretary. That moment.
Yes.
That 12 years of predictions. That very moment, because I said, oh, God, they don't do this to the president. You know, this is some sort of psychological warfare to bring down the ideal of the man of the president. So they're going to force a man into office next. And then I heard W, and I was like, oh, no, W, 66, fallen angel. They're going to force that guy into office. And they did. And I said, they're going to make it obvious. And they did. And I said, okay, this will be the year they actually blow up something. So there's going to be a major terrorist attack this year, 9/11. Don't freak out. This is all for your reaction. And I said, and then W is going to be the last American president. And you can go to my blog, thefreemanperspective.blogspot.com, way back when my
old blog.
And you can still see where I'm telling you this. Before we ever heard the name Obama, I was saying W is the last American president. And so I was predicting the birther movement, saying, the next one's going to be considered a non-American, non-constitutionally viable president because that's the next step. And then the whole cloning thing began, all right? And I want to skip over that for now. But that wasn't part of this puzzle. This puzzle all started with Bill Clinton and said, okay, if they need to bring down the man, then they need to bring down the system, then they need to bring down the Constitution. So next is to bring it all together and bring out the globalization. So we're watching the nightmare of Trump versus Hillary.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm missing the debate right now or if it's tomorrow. But I honestly did want to see it, but I don't really have television. I'd have to get in rabbit ears or something.
Same here, man.
Yeah, I'll watch it on YouTube later.
Yeah, no television either, man.
So this whole meltdown of an election is falling into the exact, okay, when I predicted 9/11, the idea was, hey, look, they've got Tom Ridge as the head of Homeland Security. They don't have a Homeland Security, so what's the head of? So they need something to make him the head of something. So that's why I knew they needed a major terrorist attack for the middle of September so that in October the bill would pass and Tom Ridge would have a legitimate job. So now I'm saying, look, Obama has established the Council of 10 Governors. And these are the very same regional governors that in the 1970s people were talking about with the 10 regions of America controlled by the UN. Now Obama has passed executive order or something like 15-328 to establish, you can look up Council of Governors. And the Council of Governors is this internal structure for military operation inside of the United States, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's the 10 regional governors of the UN control. So that means the election needs to melt down completely in order for this to rise up. And just like what I said when I was predicting 9/11, it was because Tom Ridge already had a job that didn't exist. Now these 10 governors have a job that don't exist yet. And, so that would be the next thing.
How do you think this all plays in with what's going on right now with CERN and this whole transhumanism movement that's coming about? I know that there's a lot of interesting stuff that we're broaching on with quantum computing. China just released a quantum satellite that will further encrypt their technology. I mean, we're definitely moving along in this technological age where things are just moving exponentially, man. Moore's law for sure, How do you see this playing into it all?
I keep telling people to keep in mind the politics of immortality.
Yes.
And that's the stuff kind of like what you see on the Georgia Guidestones, Mm-hmm. The politics of immortality means you need a whole lot less people.
Mm.
But the fact that no one is freaking out at all that Google owns quantum computers, AI technology, and DARPA military killer robots, I don't understand.
It was interesting because Regina Dugan, she was the head of DARPA. She was Advanced Research Projects, and she went to Google, right? Regina Dugan, and she was talking about how a lot of these secrets that they discover are just secrets that are in nature. Nature has a wealth of knowledge and mystery that they tend to weaponize and use for their advantage.
Well, CERN's working on a tabletop-sized particle accelerator.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, China's working on a particle accelerator twice the size of CERN and 7 times its power.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what prompts these people to spend billions of dollars, nations upon nation, are fighting to give CERN money? And all we know that it does is make pretty spectral pictures that they call the God particle. Technically, that was actually called the goddamn particle. They just find that very politically friendly, but if you look it up, it's actually the goddamn particle.
Wow. Mm.
They just call it the God particle, which is kind of funny because everybody takes it all wrong. I'm like, But yeah, so, you're looking at the politics of immortality. You're looking at the fact that they're about to transmit their souls into computers and back into robots. And, Michael Jackson was doing all this crap back in the 80s.
Like Uri Geller and all that.
He was going to get transferred into. He'd never moonwalk again. But, that's what we need to be thinking about is the politics of immortality and realizing that this planet's much crazier than everyone thinks, and all this shenanigans that's playing out in front of them. It's just a big show.
Speaking about Michael Jackson, what do you say about all this Corey Feldman stuff that's in the news?
I don't know.
You haven't,
I don't know what you're talking about.
You haven't seen. He's got a new band out, Corey and Corey's Angels, and he did this.
No.
Yeah, he did a.
The poor Corys.
Man, yeah.
Yeah, the whole child abuse.
Yeah, they tried. They actually tried to ask him about that on The View, and he wouldn't go into it because of Corey's mom. And but no, they're like smearing his name, and because he got a little band out now, and they're putting out a CD. And he did a performance, and the performance was really weird, man. He's out there in a little cloak and a hood and stuff, and he's doing these little weird dances and stuff. And the internet blew up over it, just kind of like making fun of him. And he's like all depressed over it. And he's making the rounds through the media about that. I didn't know if you've heard of anything on that or even seen it. You definitely need to check it out, man.
But that all stems into the whole Disney. All the people that come out of Disney come out disturbed, especially the women, man. They come out of Disney turned out, like.
Oh yeah,
Tyra Banks, like all of those women in
Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Ariana Grande, all of them just
every
come
single one of them
freaks. It's like what the fuck,
Miley. MK Ultra.
Hey, speaking of Hollywood, Freeman, have you seen Stranger Things yet?
I just ordered the vinyl. I didn't expect that vinyl to go like super viral, man. It was like sold out right away. I had to score a copy.
The Netflix original TV series Stranger Things.
Yeah. The vinyl just came out.
Have you done anything on that? Have you done some research on it into what it's getting?
Not really. Once you lay the foreground for it, then you just kind of feel like you're stumbling over the same thing. I don't want to keep repeating myself, and now it's come to the point where MK Ultra is just part of the plot line.
Yeah.
So, I would have said the same thing about if we were talking about Firestarter. Go all the way back to Stephen King and Firestarter, and you got that same story already.
Right.
They just made it into E.T. meets Poltergeist meets.
Yeah, definitely some E.T. themes in there. With some of the scenes, you're like, hold on, did they steal this from E.T.? It's a great show, though, man. You're going to love
Poltergeist,
it. It's a great show.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But it's great. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I'm excited to get the vinyl. I've become quite a vinyl head. I can't stop. I love it.
That's what's
I really love music.
Yeah, everybody's raving over the soundtrack, yeah.
Going over music, like TruthSeekah, here's a rapper. Let's talk about some of your musical influences, because I know you have your own band. You're playing the bass now.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Share
some of that.
Line.
I know some of your.
Really heard me play the bass yet.
I know you love Jane's Addiction and all that, man.
Yeah, Jane's Addiction. I was a big Kiss fan.
Yeah.
I still have all my Cheap Trick albums.
Yeah.
Marla was I was watching that interview you did with Sean Young, and you showed your Prince album, Purple Rain.
Oh yeah.
And Marla has that same album, and she was telling me that she admired the fact that you were a big Prince fan.
Yeah.
She was enjoying that perspective you had on the conspiracy aspect of it, because it's sad
Prince
what happened on him, man. The elevator. The elevator.
I know. What are the all those guys that died? David Bowie, Prince, and Michael Jackson. These guys were all into magic, all into even Ordo Templi Orientis. They were extraterrestrial people, absolutely. Yeah. Prince, David Bowie, and Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
and
totally.
You got Jackson looking for his clone. You can go to Clonaid right now, and you can see on the front page Clonaid, they're all excited they got Jackson's DNA. They're going to clone Michael Jackson. Then you can go to Forbes magazine, they're all excited because they're going to clone John Lennon. But beyond that, these guys, man, are they really dead? Did Michael Jackson time travel to ancient Egypt? Is Bowie on some other planet somewhere? They're about to re-release The Man That Fell to Earth. And it's just, these guys, it's almost like the movie or the book, if you've read the book, Atlas Shrugged of Ayn Rand, where all the elite are starting to vanish, and the best artists and the best architects and the best doctors, they're all vanishing. And
why doesn't Madonna die? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, her and
that pig. I'm sorry.
Well, they're definitely cleaning up her blood, right? They have a DNA crew that
chick is this disgusting.
Cleans up her blood every time she does a concert.
And then she pays homage to
what are they hiding? What does she have to hide?
Do you notice, like, when one of these artists pass away, always Madonna pays a tribute to him, like David Bowie, Michael Jackson, Prince? It's like,
and then they come out back as a hologram. Yeah,
like, why don't you die, Madonna?
I know, it's scary, right? The creepy ones never die. It's like a horror movie, The most heinous character makes it to the bitter end.
What about Captain EO, man? Did you see that? I seen that at Disney.
Yeah.
It's in at Disney, man. I never heard of it. Went a couple years ago and seen it, man. It was powerful. I was like tearing up. It's
quite a trip.
Yeah, just seeing the magic that guy had, man. That guy was otherworldly, man. He had something else, and his life was dedicated to that.
People don't talk about it, but like Michael Jackson had an obsession with Prince as well. Back in the early '80s, if you remember, he saw him as a very major, problem in terms of competition in the music world.
I believe it.
And people were always talking about, like, he was obsessed with Prince. That you seen the famous video of James Brown, and where he calls up Michael Jackson, and he keeps whispering in James Brown's ear to call up Prince. Then he calls Prince up, and Michael Jackson leaves the stage.
No way.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Michael Jackson, Prince, and James Brown.
Right.
And Prince was not happy at all for him calling him out like that.
Nah.
Yeah. All three of them on the stage, but Mike happened to leave just when Prince got there.
Right.
What about this? I got a headline for you, Freeman. It says, Michael Jackson, Insider reveals Michael Jackson was chemically castrated as a young boy. Have you heard any of the research or theories on that about some of the other, I know some of the other cultures would take their young boys who they wanted them from a child to be a singer, and they would castrate them, and it would actually help them sing in higher octaves. Have you heard anything about that?
I wouldn't put it past Joe. I hate to say that, but I wouldn't. There was a report that I never could find again when Michael was in trouble for the sexual assault of children, and they had shown that it was physically impossible, that he had a mutilated penis. Wow. And so that came and went, and it's that kind of thing that if you heard it, you heard it, and you can't prove it afterwards, So
yeah.
I heard it. I don't know what to say, but I never did believe in the whole child molestation.
Me neither.
Maybe a little, but not completely.
I didn't believe in that at all, man. I just thought he was just like a kind soul, and when you're a billion
child,
when you're a billionaire, man.
He was a traumatized little kid. Yeah. I mean, his brothers were having sex around him while he was a baby, growing up with the band, and he had to deal with a lot. He's just a traumatized, everyone. People are trauma-based mind control victims.
Yeah. I think he was a good soul, and it's sad. And it's sad how everyone mocked him when he was alive, and now we want him back. Bring him back. We miss him. We love him.
Yeah.
Yet while he was here, we were cracking on him because he had that skin disease. I
tell you what, though, it is strange to see how America's idols have fallen, though. It's how he was like the king of pop or the king of the world, right? And he was like the number one guy. They were like in his videos, these huge statues of him. Like people would faint in his presence, and girls would cry and melt. But then he died as like the laughingstock of the entire world, man. And just shows you how like that stardom, how they put you up there, and then they construct you to fall before the face of
Janice, I think Barcelo from the Free Your Mind conference. She talks a lot about how a lot of these children that are born they're born to be great are usually targeted by these elites or by some type of archons, and controlling them even before they're born into the earth, because they know what their life path is going to be. They know that they're going to affect great change. Have you heard anything about that, Freeman?
No, I only go for what I can prove. I don't
I know that but she also talks about how at birth, a lot of there's a lot of trauma that these kids are being faced with.
I still cringe when she talks about circumcision.
Yeah,
she talks about that stuff, man.
Every moment of that trauma. I don't, but you go watch Janice's show and tell me if you don't cringe at the circumcision part. Tell me you're not a traumatized.
You wonder why we're thinking about extraterrestrial beings. She's
a mutual friend on Facebook, man. I can't watch her stuff too much about the Jews and this and that. I'm like,
well, there's that layer too, but just the trauma of it all is just too much for me.
I just don't follow her.
I got my friends all hanging out, and I feel bad, but I wanted to make sure to, show up.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming.
No, I thank you, man, for coming on, man.
Hey, so for the people that are tuning in, what's next? What's in the pipeline before you go? What should we be expecting? If you want to take this time to make a plug,
I never know. I don't know. Just go to freemantv.com. Check it all out. It's all free. I mean, come on. And, or you can subscribe and help me out and help me, keep chasing this monster. But, the whole goal here had been to open the world to the occult, but not to demonize it. So, I got full works of magic all around me.
Right.
And it's not demonic work. You just don't understand until you really start to dig in and understand what these things are saying. So it wasn't enough for me to hear everybody say, oh, it's Satan, it's Satan, it's Satan. I want to know what that means. I want to know what this all means. And so, it's always been this exploration into the occult side of things. And then also I'm a science fiction buff. So I can't help but follow glow-in-the-dark cats. I mean, come on, they're cloning your pet, and this is crazy. So, that's my true passion, is just to follow these stories. And honestly, I've said from the very beginning that I've never went looking for any of this information. It all came looking for me, and I was just a vessel for it. I don't even remember where everything came from or why.
Where's the name Freeman come from? Where's the name Freeman come from?
That one you'll have to read Robert Anton Wilson's Illuminatus trilogy.
When did you come up with the name, or when did you apply the name?
It was put upon me. I didn't want to be number 3 at this restaurant I was working at, so I stood up and said, I'm not a number, I'm a free man. Put that on my name tag.
Good stuff.
And I've been Freeman ever since. The Fly, see, I was always just Freeman, and which was kind of a bitch, because when I would go on like Tex Mars, they would introduce me as, and Jack Blood did this too. I can't believe it. As I'm coming on to talk about the heinous works of Madonna and Prince, they're introducing me as Freeman, just a single name, like Madonna or Prince, and I'm like, you're gonna relate me to the people I'm about to come on here and demonize? You suck. So, but the Fly, the Freeman Fly.
Jack Blood is a weird guy, man.
Yeah, he's quite a character. I like Jack a lot.
I like him too, but I don't get.
Yeah, well, he's man. I like Jack.
But the Fly.
So my company was Blue Fly Productions. That's because Project Blue Fly, other than Blue Book, was when there was actually an extraterrestrial running around on planet Earth. So I chose Blue Fly Productions to basically claim that I was an extraterrestrial running around on planet Earth. And that's why my email is Blue Fly Free, because I'm Blue Fly Free, right? Anyway, I went to buy that website, and at that very moment, bluefly.com came out. Like, I had already had my TV show where it said Blue Fly Productions.
Yeah.
But the moment I went to go buy bluefly.com, it became this shopping store. So if you go to bluefly.com right now, you'll find it's a shopping, it's like a Walmart online. And I'm just like, how and why? Why would they call their company Blue Fly? That's bizarre. I know why I did, because it's aliens, But why did this company suddenly steal my URL? So I ended up, with freemantv.com, and it's been that for almost 12 years now. So there's like just 12 years of crazy madness with the high priest of the Church of Satan or evangelicals looking at Illuminati hand signs. I go all over the place trying to explore this situation without any bias.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, Freeman. Man, can we have you back on for another one? It would be awesome for you to come back.
Amazing.
Yeah, we'll do it again. I didn't know my friends were going to stay.
All
they
good,
ended up
brother.
staying.
Thank you, big brother Freeman,
enjoyed
for coming
the time,
on.
man.
Yeah, thank you, Alonzo.
Cheers to you, by the way, Freeman, for doing what you,
Cheers,
you do.
Mr. Freeman.
You're prolific.
You gotta come on with the bass next time. Play the bass for us, man.
I wanted to. It's just so much equipment. I thought about setting up in there, but they're already jamming. So
yeah,
yeah,
awesome,
we have to have you on while you're jamming, man. Next time.
Well, okay, molecularband.com.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my website for the band.
Awesome.
Molecularband.com.
That's you and Leonard.
We'll check
right?
that out. Put it in the show notes.
That's you and
Yeah.
Leonard.
Leonardo Rizzo, famous Grammy-nominated musician that he is. He's one of Freeman's. I host the Home for Wayward Genius here, and so they
me and you gotta meet soon, man, because we've been doing stuff together for almost a year. So me and you gotta meet soon, because I know you invited me to the Free Your Mind. I didn't go.
Anything to free your mind, I
didn't go because you know why I shared that.
I know, because you're a fool.
Free your mind, your ass will follow.
Slap you, man.
I will be there next year, man.
Next year it'll be good. It'll be me versus Michael Tsarion.
Oh, that's why.
Are you gonna have Tsarion there? Really?
Okay.
Looks like
they're having to make it out.
I got it.
That's why I'm gonna be there. That's why I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be to your right, and Lanny will be to your left. So,
this happens around April, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, no, definitely. I want to make it out to the next one.
I'm gonna be there, man.
It's a good time. Seriously, I mean, like I said,
two Mexicans to show up
in the conference themselves. You get to meet everyone, everybody's friend there.
I got to make it out there, man. To be doing what I do and have never been to any of these conferences, man, it's not a good look.
Although I saw one video of a guy running around the conference filming occult symbols on everybody. And look, oh my God, they got...
Oh, yeah, I seen that too, man.
He's got to make a living, man. He's got to make a living.
I saw that kid was trying to say you guys had an agenda. I'm like, really?
Right.
Their agenda's no agenda.
Yeah. And there's an open non-bias to the occult. It's like...
I don't know, like the Howard Stern show was there, right?
Yeah, I never knew if I was on or not.
Wow. Yeah.
Yet to find out if I was on Howard Stern as an anti-Semite.
Awesome. Hey, I got a quick question. I just want to ask you if you know this guy, because I just found out about him like yesterday. Have you heard of Tiny Tim?
Yeah.
I just found out about him. The dude was amazing, man.
I learned a bit. Yeah, I know Tiny Tim.
I would have to look deeper. Tiny Tim was something else, but I didn't really, I mean, I remember him when he was popular.
Yeah.
Tiptoe through the tulips.
Yeah.
I just found out about that yesterday. I was like, I was pissed off at the internet for not finding out about him earlier. I thought it was dope. No.
Man, you can get anything on
I was like,
that dude was odd, Tiny Tim, man.
He reminded me of Manson. We got some Manson stories we're going to cover here in a little bit. He reminded me of Marilyn Manson, and I'm a huge Manson fan. I was like, man, that dude was before his time.
If I'm not mistaken.
He was before his time. Yeah.
Yeah, I was at a riot at his concert.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they kept breaking the barricade.
You talking about Manson? Manson, right?
The audience on the stage, and he just walked off stage, and everybody rioted.
Have you ever made it out to a Burning Man?
I am anti-Burning Man.
Are you? Because of the
rainbow.
history it has, or what?
Huh?
The history that it has. I know it has a lot of...
No, it's just I'm rainbow, and it's like the complete opposite of rainbow. It's like if you asked me if I was a Deadhead, I'd be like, no, I'm rainbow. Although I toured with the Dead for many years, I've never been a Deadhead. I'm a rainbow.
I love the rainbows, by the way. I was out in Apple Valley at the hot springs out there, and there was a rainbow gathering out there. Some of the most beautiful, positive people I've ever been around. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Megadeth fan?
It saves the soul. It really does, guys.
Yeah.
Are you a Megadeth
maybe
fan?
we'll all go to Rainbow next year.
There you go. Okay.
I'd much rather sit in the mud with you.
Okay. On the hot springs, yeah. Walk around naked.
I'll pay for everyone.
Get your nude on.
All right, we'll find out. We'll know where it is June of next year. So.
All right, much love for you to you, and thank you for coming on again, man.
Yeah.
You're a legend. Okay?
Thank you for coming through, my friend.
We're gonna all talk more just off the air, and then we'll talk more on the air.
Sounds good,
Definitely.
brother. Bless.
All right, stay positive.
Peace.
Much love.
Yeah,
Peace.
get in touch.
Will do, man. Awesome, y'all. Freeman Fly, guys. Ladies and gentlemen. That was awesome.